Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make this cute little airplane toy for kids. I didn't put any windows on it because I just didn't feel like it. I thought it would be too crowded. But yeah, so whatever yarn you're going to choose to use, go with the hook size just down from what it calls for. For example, because we're going to do this in amigurumi. So for example, this is going to be the body of my airplane in this video. And this is a mint color. This is Craft Smart and it's mint. And it calls for a 4.5 hook. I'm pretty sure it did. Let me just look. I lied. It calls for a 5.5 hook. But I'm actually going down to a 4mm hook. So it's going to be nice and tight. Red is going to be for my wings and my tail wings. I'm not sure how well this is going to work out. I just want it to be bright colors. You know, kids love bright colors. So that's the reason I'm choosing that. This may change. I'm just saying, partway through the video, I might go, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to use a 4G. You're going to need a stitch marker and a row counter. Or however you keep track of your rows. So let's just jump right into this. We're going to make the body of the airplane first. So you're going to start with a magic ring. Come all the way in. Magic ring of 6 single crochets. If you can't make a magic ring, or you don't like making a magic ring, or you struggle to make a magic ring, you can just do a chain 2 and then put all your 6 single crochets in the first chain and then pull it closed. It'll look just like this when you're done. Your first round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 12 stitches. Your marker goes in the first stitch, not the second stitch. This is amigurumi, so we're not slip stitching and we're not chaining 2. You just go right into the stitch and start working. Your next row is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. That's my 1 single crochet, and then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 24 stitches. That's number 1. That's number 2, and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. So when you're done this round, I want you to just do 1 single crochet in each of those 24 stitches. I will put it on my pause screen, and I will see you on the other side. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. This will bring you up to 30 stitches. That's 3 single crochets, and then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. So once you complete this round, I want you to do 1 round of 1 single crochet in each of those 30 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. Your next 2 rounds are going to be 4 single crochets and an increase, bringing you up to 36 stitches, followed up by a 1 single crochet in each stitch round. That's number 1. That's 4 single crochets, so your next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. Your last increase round is 5 single crochet and increase, and then the next round we're not doing the 1 single crochet. We're gonna do we're gonna start building our window, so we're gonna be using white for your window. If that's the color you want your window, you could do yellow or gray. That's what we'll be doing, a tapestry crochet style in the round after this one. So this round is going to be 5 single crochet and an increase, bringing you up to 40 stitches. So that's number 1. Marker's always number 1. That's 5 single crochets, so your next stitch gets the increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same space. And repeat. So this is what you should have so far. So if you're following along with the PDF, if you're a member, you'll get the free PDFs available. So if you're following along with that, you're going to see that this next row, which is round 10, is going to say G and W after the written part. And that means green and white. So it doesn't necessarily reflect the colors that you're using. You're using whatever colors you're using. But that's what the G and the W mean, which is written at the top of your PDF. So I'm going to be referring to just green and white while I talk. I'm just going to call it green and white, even though that may not be the colors that you're using. They're the colors I'm using. So it's just going to be easier for me to do it that way. "42 stitches is what you should have. We're going to start our tapestry crochet. So you're going to need some white, and I've got mine ready here. Now, it's easy peasy if you've never done tapestry crochet before. It's super duper easy peasy. So I will walk you through it. You're going to be seeing, if you're a member and you got the PDF, the free PDF, and you're following along, you're going to see some of this is written with brackets, and that means the same space. And it's written with a G and a W, and if you refer to the top of the PDF, it'll tell you that that means green and white. So not necessarily meaning the colors that you're using, but it was just a way to identify what I was doing. So with green, I want you to do 2 single crochets. So that's number 1, and that's number 2. So on your second stitch, I want you to finish it with your white. So make sure you have a decently long tail. You're just going to kind of leave it hanging in there. We are going to take the green with us because we're going to need it on the other side. So in your next stitch, I want you to put 2 single crochets. So we got to increase this part as well, the window part. Then I want you to do 2 single crochets, so over the course of 2 stitches, 1 in each stitch. Then your next stitch, I want you to do 2 single crochets in the same space. So we're doing a 1 single crochet increase basically, and then I want you to do, or 2 single crochet increase. Then I want you to do 2 single crochets. I lose my spot. So you're basically going to do 2 single crochet increase 3-ish times. So 2 in the same space, 1 and 2, 2 in the same space, 1 and 2. So this next one is 2 in the same space, 2, 1 in each stitch, 2 single crochets, and then 2 in the same space. So 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase, 2 single crochet, increase. So that's what we're going to do for the window part. So this last stitch, we go back, we finish this last stitch with our green. This white you can just leave hanging. You don't need to weave it in because we're going to use it again over here. We're actually going to have to stretch it back over. So now you should have 30 single crochets to your marker. That's my 30th stitch, and this is what you should have. So this part is slightly increased. So we're going to do this for just a few more rows. We're going to do 2 green, and then on your second green you're going to switch to white. So it's my second stitch. I'm going to finish that with my white. So I just got to pull this across. You just make sure that you're doing it loosey-goosey. So just make sure it's loose in there, because this has to be like that, right, when we stuff it. So I got to carry the green with me. So in this round you're going to do 3 single crochet increase 3 times with your white. So starting in the first white stitch here, that's 3 single crochet, and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, that's 1 time. That's 2 times. 1 more time. And then you do your last 2 white. So on the second white, my white's going to be a pain in the butt. Oh, I forgot to bring my green when I did that. You're going to finish it with green. So just leave your white hanging again. Oh, I'm all messed up here. And then you can do 30 single crochets back to your marker. So this is what you should have. This next round is easy peasy. You're going to do 2 single crochets with your green. You're going to switch to white on your second stitch. I got to start mine again because I cut my white. Oh no, I can pull across. And with your white, you're going to do 17 single crochets. So Just one in each stitch, easy peasy. So on your 17th stitch, you're going to go back to green. Leave your white hanging. And with green, you're going to do 30 single crochets back to your marker. So this is what you should have so far. So I just want to take a minute and talk about what I keep referring to, the PDF and memberships and everything, and I guess I haven't quite said in this video yet. That I have a join button now. You can join memberships. There's two different ones for my channel. There's a $2.99 one and a $4.99 one. You certainly don't have to. The $2.99 one will get you early videos plus super chat badges and stuff like that, and shout outs. The $4.99 one will get you free PDFs for whatever you want. If there's nothing up there that you see, but there's a video on my channel, you can request whatever PDF you want. You'll get it for free. This is stuff that I normally sell on Etsy, so you're getting it for free just by being a member. And you're not just going to get one PDF a month. Like, you're going to get whatever I'm putting out for videos. I will put the PDF up for it with every single one, or just about every single one. I mean, some of my tapestry crochets I'm not going to, but so that's what the membership is going to be. I know a lot of people prefer the patterns, so for $5 a month you can get early videos, free PDFs, which pays for itself. So the PDFs that I sell, actually I sell more. I sell them for more than $5 on Etsy. So I just thought I'd say that, because in case you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about when I keep saying if you're following the PDF, that's what I'm talking about. So we're on round 13 for PDF followers. And you're going to do your two green. Your second green, you're going to change to your white. So this is my second green. I got to come across with my white again. Make sure it's all loosey-goosey in there. And I'm going to carry my green. So with my white, I'm going to do 4 single crochet increase 3 times. Oh my gosh, I'm holding this funny for some reason. That's 4 single crochets and an increase. That's 1 time. That's 2 times. That is 3 times, and then you've got your 2 white, 1 single crochet in each of those. And then on your second stitch you go back to your green and you do 30 single crochets back to your marker. So even though we're increasing here, it's still going to be 30 single crochets because we're not increasing over here. So your next round is going to start with these 2 green going to white. We're just about done the window. So on your second green, that's when you're going to switch. I am making a mess. So this round with white, you're going to do 20 single crochets with white. So you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch across, and then go back to your green and finish the row. So go back to green on your last stitch, and then do 30 single crochets with your green back to your marker. This is going to be our last row with color. So you're going to do your 2 green, and on your second green you're going to switch to your white. So I'm going to do 4 single crochet and a decrease. Ha ha ha. Tricky, tricky. 4 single crochet decrease 3 times. That's number 1. Oh, I do not like that stitch. My stitch was too elongated. Let me try that again. That's number 1. So that's 4 single crochets. And then your decrease. So I'm going to do invisible decreases in the front loops only. Still carrying my green. That's 4 single crochets, so I'll show you my decrease again. Front loops, pick up the front loop, yoink, pick up the second front loop, pull through those, and then finish the stitch. That's number 2, so last decrease. And of course your 2 single crochets in left, that's we've been doing the whole time. Your last stitch, change to green, and then do 30 single crochets back to your marker. There we have it. There's your windshield. Cut your white off. Leave a tail to tuck down in there. I had an elongated stitch there, so I kind of pulled up and left a bit of a hole. That's why you got to make sure you don't get those elongated stitches. That's why I fixed the one there, but I never caught the one there. No big deal. I can live with that. White, when I put the stuffing in there, you may not notice it. So your next round for the entire thing is going to be 5 single crochets and a decrease. And this will bring it back down to 42 stitches. That's number 1. That's 5 single crochets, and then your decrease. So I'm going to stick with my invisible ones, front loops. So you should have 42 stitches. So you should have 42 stitches. And you see where I'm going with this? So once you start doing your 5 rows, it won't look as big of a hump like that. But I guess it all depends on the yarn you're using. It may not, if you're using just 4 weight not worsted, it probably doesn't look like this at all. But my white was not worsted. It was just regular 4 weight, but this is worsted. My green is worsted. The body should be worsted. For the next 5 rows, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 42 stitches. And I will see you on the other side. So that's my 5 rows done. I put some stuffing in mine. So we're gonna start decreasing some more, or we're gonna continue to decrease some more. We're going to do 4 single crochet decrease. We're going to do it mostly all the way around. So I'm not going to be able to get my last decrease in there, so I'm going to do the 3 single crochet decrease I just talked about. And I have 1 more stitch left, so I'm just going to put a single crochet in there. So for the next 14 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these, however many stitches you have. If you're short a stitch, if you have an extra stitch or 2, it's not going to matter. It's still going to look like an airplane. So for the next 14 rows, just put 1 single crochet in each stitch, and I will see you on the other side. So this is what you should have. I did start stuffing mine. I got a little bit of stuffing in there. That's my 14 rows. So we're going to start decreasing. I didn't want to make this airplane too long. I wanted to kind of keep them a little bit short. So your first decrease is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. And this is going to Excuse me. This is going to bring you down to 28 stitches. I'm still doing my invisible decreases, but you can do whichever ones you want. Oh my good lord, I'm holding this funny. I can't seem to... It's hard to hold sometimes when it gets stuffing in it. We're going to be closing this up, so make sure you're filling it properly. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease. So that's number 1. It's way easier to hold off camera. And that's number 2, and your decrease all the way around. And this will give you 21 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochets and a decrease. This will bring you down to 14 stitches, and then I want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 14 stitches, and then you can fasten off. So I will meet you back here for the whole fasten off part. Oh, that's supposed to be a decrease. Your marker's number 1, you go right into a decrease. So that's what I have right now. I'm going to go into the next stitch and fasten off. You still got to put some stuffing in this, but all you need is a cinch tail. So finish filling this and make sure it's really full, because you don't want anything to be all wrinkly looking back here. And you're going to do a little bit of sewing in this back end, so just make sure it's stuffed really well. So I'd say that's good for me. It's kind of poking out a little bit, which is good. That's the way I want it, because I don't want this to be wrinkly because it's not full enough. So you're gonna pick up the front loops only, so go in and out just like that, all the way around. You can skip a stitch if you want. So I'm back around mainly. So pull and cinch that up like that. So I'm going to pop across my cinch. Sorry, it's hard to hold, this table slippery. I'm going to make a knot. I'm going to pop across in the other direction. And I'm going to make a knot. And then you can weave in and out. So go in as close as you can to your lead. That's what your cinch should look like. So go in as close as you can to your lead when you're weaving, just so it looks like a stitch, and then try to go in 3 different directions. And if you really want a good cinch, go in between the stitches, not through the holes. Like break yarn. Go right through the yarn. It'll be even more difficult to pull it out. Not that anybody would. Hopefully not. I didn't cut that off very well. There we go. There's the fuselage of our airplane. So next will be the color, whatever color you're using for your. I did the tail the same color as the body, but then the wings I did a different color. You don't need to do that. I did change mine from red to purple because I just think it would look better. So while we have our body color out, let's just do our tail wing. The vertical stabilizer, not the horizontal stabilizer. So this is called a vertical stabilizer, and then these are the horizontal stabilizers. That's what they're called on an airplane. So let's do the the vertical stabilizer next. So I started with a magic ring of 4 single crochets. Your first round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase, so you're only going to do this twice. You don't need to use a marker since it's such a small space. But if you're not sure where your stitches are, it might help to use the marker. So at this point you should have 6 stitches. And of course, again, the reason I don't start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets is because I want a point on the end of it. Your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of those 6 stitches. That's 6. Your next round, we better use our marker for this. So get your marker put in first. We're going to do 2 single crochet increase 1 time, and then we're going to do 3 single crochets. So that's number 1, that's number 2, and then our increase. So the next stitch gets 2 single crochets in the same space for the increase, and then just 3 single crochets back to your marker. This next round is going to be 2 single crochet increase again. So that's 2, and then the increase. And then in this next stitch I want you to put 2 single crochets in the same space, and then 3 single crochets back to your marker. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochet increase 2 times. That's 1 and 2, and then the increase. Do it again. And then 3 single crochets back to your marker. So this gives you 11 stitches at this point. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase 2 times. That's number 1. That's 3 single crochets, and then this next stitch gets 2 single crochets in the same space for the increase. And we do it again. And then 3 single crochets back to your marker. This gives you 13 stitches. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochet increase 2 times, and then our numbers change a little bit here. So 3 single crochet 2 times, or 3 single crochet increase 2 times, and then you should have 5 single crochets back to your marker. So this gives you 15 stitches. Your next round is going to be 4 single crochet increase 2 times. That's 4 single crochet increase 2 times, and then 5 single crochets back to your marker, giving you 17 stitches. So it puts this slope, we're putting a slope on it. Your next round is just going to be one single crochet in each of these 17 stitches. Your next round is going to be 5 single crochets and an increase, and you're going to do this 2 times. And then 5 single crochets back to your marker, giving you 19 stitches. Last weird row, you're going to do 6 single crochet increase 2 times, and then your 5 single crochets, giving you 21 stitches. And 5 single crochets back to your marker. So I should have 21 stitches. For the next 3 rows, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 21 stitches. And I will see you on the other side. So that's my 3 rows. I'm going to fasten off. Put a little bit of stuffing in this. I think I did too much stuffing in my last one, but just a little bit. So you do need a sewing tail. So this is how it's supposed to go. So when you stuff it, this is the straight edge. This is where we increased. Excuse me. I'm pretty sure I put too much stuffing on my other one. But you can do whatever you want, because mine ended up turning out looking like, you know, a bit of a bubble wing. But, you know, the kids are still going to love it. Kids don't care. They're not going to judge. I think that's fine for this one. I'm not going to go overboard like I did my other one. So obviously this goes right back to the butt. I'm going to zoom out a bit for you. This goes right back. Just make sure it's in the middle, because that's where I went wrong on my other one. Mine isn't quite in the middle. So I sewed it on open, of course. But try not to pull the sides out when you sew. It's not meant to be thick. Yeah, that might be the middle. It's not meant to be wide, it's meant to be thin. We're putting those other two horizontal stabilizers around it, so. I'm probably going to be putting stuffing a little bit more on the bottom when I come back 3/4 of the way around. So this is mine all sewn on. Put my pins away. So that's mine all sewn on. So let's get a different color. If you're getting your different color, we'll get a different color. I'm getting my purple, and I'll meet back here and we'll do let's do the smaller stuff first. So let's do the horizontal stabilizers first, then we'll do the big wings. So I'm using my purple, and I hope it looks okay. We're going to start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. You're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch again, because I want this point on it. So I'm just going to do 6 single crochets without my marker. That's 6 single crochets. So if you want this for safekeeping, I would just tighten it, make a knot, push it down, and cut it off, just so it doesn't get annoying. But I would definitely make that knot, and just be careful how tight you make that knot, because it could pull through and then it's pointless. So flip it right side in, push my little stubby down there. So your next round, sorry, I'm tired. Your next round is 1 single crochet and an increase. Don't really need a marker because you're only going to do this twice, but 1 single crochet, and then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. Oh, you're gonna do it 3 times, sorry. See? When I'm tired and I have a cold, I am not the smartest. So 3 times around. Okay, so this is where we're gonna start turning the wing a little bit. And I know the tail wing that we did it a little bit differently, putting a slant on it. This one's a little bit different. We're going to do 4 single crochets, and then we're going to do 5 half doubles. So right now I got 9 stitches. That's number 1. That's 4 single crochets, and then you're going to do 5 half doubles. So if you don't want to go that high, then you can do extended single crochets. I do that with the cardinal that I'm building right now, so it worked out nice. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. All single crochets. And you're going to do this 3 times around. So now you have 12 stitches. Now you're going to do 6 single crochets and 6 half doubles. Your next row is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. This will bring you up to 15 stitches. Your next round is going to be 7 single crochets and 8 half doubles. Your next round is going to be 4 single crochets and an increase. This will bring you up to 18 stitches. Your next round is going to be 9 single crochets and then 9 half doubles. So you see the curve? that it's getting. It's gradual, but it's there, and the 1 single crochets in the middle kind of help make it nice and gradual. So your last round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. And that is it. These do not get stuffed unless, well, I mean, if you want them to, I suppose it's your project. However, I don't think they would look very good. So that's your wing. I almost grabbed my wrong airplane. So these wings go out this way. They curve this way, away from the plane. So that's how they're going to get sewn on, is curved out and away. So go ahead and make your second one. I'll put my pattern on the screen and I'll meet you right back here. I did not stuff mine, and I whip stitched the ends closed. I found it easier to sew it on that way. So I need this shape to stay, so I'm kind of in the middle of everything. So I'm just going to use my back loops, and I'm just going to scooch over to the side to start my whip stitching. So, like I said, the angle has to be going toward the back of the, away from the plane. So I'm going to stick pins in here. But for safety reasons, I almost sewed the tail things together. Does that make sense? So I want to pull this corner down. So I'm going to go into this corner. First thing I'm going to do. I'm going to pop up over here. Just to suck that corner in. So we got to do the same thing to this one. So you're still going to have an angle along here too. And that just helps the angle once you sew it to the airplane. It does help. So don't try to hide that angle. Embrace it. I don't know why I just said that. Other than I think I'm funny sometimes. So just to make sure that you're matching these up. So trust me when I say I tried to put these wings on where they should be going and not where they are. I tried many different ways to sew these wings on, and none of them seemed right. It all looked really silly to me. I can't say the word I want to use. It looked really silly to me. So this was how I sewed it on, because I can't get in there. It didn't look as bad. Anyway, so I used the tail from this one to sew this one on. I just went back and forth in between the two of them actually, and then I did the same thing again with the other tail, the one I just pulled through. It's, to me, felt safer, more secure. So, pull them as close as you can here at the back, just so it doesn't look as silly. I take my pins out. And then I've got this other one. So just to be on the safe side, I almost did a mattress stitch along here because it helps hold the wing up. And it seemed like a better hold. But you can do whatever the heck you want. I'm just scared my stuff's gonna come off if a child's playing with it. So that's why I take these extra precautions. So you can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna find a spot to pop out, making sure that's pulled nice and tight. And I'm gonna pop out with my second piece. Oh, my battery's gonna die. I'm gonna pop out with my second piece and I'm gonna tie them together and poke them down. First I'm gonna pop across. First I'm gonna pop across and pull these corners even closer together before I go down. Pop out the same hole that my other one is in. Pull tight so I can tie these two in a double knot and then poke it down. Just make sure you've come up a hole and not split the yarn. So leave some nubbies. There you have it. Our wings are horizontal wings, so that's what it should look like. So let's move on to the big stuff and then we'll get the eyeballs done. We're going to soon be done this project. So these wings, I'm going to do one with you and then leave my pattern on the screen and do the other one. So we're going to start with magic ring and 6 single crochets. You're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch around, giving you 12 stitches. Your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of those 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. Next round's going to be 9 single crochets and 9 half doubles, because you should have 18 stitches. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. This will bring you up to 24 stitches. Your next row is going to be 12 single crochets and 12 half doubles. For the next 5 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 24 stitches. And then we're going to come back and keep increasing. So this is what your 5 rows should look like. You can see it curving that way a little bit. So next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. Next round is going to be 15 single crochets and 15 half doubles. So we're still kind of turning it a little bit. This will be it for turning. So for the next 3 rows, you should put 1 single crochet in each of these 30 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So that's it. You can fasten off. You'll need a sewing tail. So this is our arc. You can still see where you did your half doubles. So that's the shape we need it in, is that shape. So again, we have to move our thing so we can whip stitch in this particular shape. So I'm just using the back loops again. So the part that goes, it has to go away, just like these. It has to arc away. Now I did these short little wings, just because it's a kid's toy, but I guess your discretion on where you put your wings. I put mine fairly far back on this guy, because wings aren't really at the front, they're more at the back. So yeah, you just got to determine where you want them and then sew them on however you want to. So I'm going to leave you with a pattern to build your other one, and then I'll meet you right back here. So this is my airplane. My wings all sewn on and everything. So now the only things left to do are the tires and the eyes. So we'll do tires next, and then we'll do the eyes at the end of it. These two colors together aren't actually too bad. I think it's absolutely super duper cool colors together. I would never have thought. So I'm going to use this sparkly black. Oh, why? Just because it was just sitting here. Sitting here for another project waiting to be filmed. And so I thought, you know, I might as well just use it for tires. I think it'd be cute. Sparkly. So no hubcaps for these tires, not like the cars and the trucks that I've done. There's no hubcaps. Airplane tires are just black rubber. So we're going to start with a magic ring. I have 6 single crochets. I'm still using my 4mm. So this sparkle stuff is Red Heart. It's just a 4-weight. It's thick though. It's a thick 4-weight. And it's a Red Heart. I'm going to say with Love collection that has the sparkle. I'm not sure. There's so many sparkle ones out there. But I'm sure if you Google sparkle yarn or not even Google, go into Michael's, and actually I don't think Michael's has much. I got mine at, well, some of mine I got on Amazon, and other ones is at Walmart. Your next round is going to be I had to sneeze. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch around for a total of 12. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. These are super small. So this will bring you up to 18 stitches. For the next 3 rounds, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 18 stitches. And I will see you on the other side. So that's my 3 rows. I know it's so hard to see, even with the background I have. So we're going to start decreasing. I'm going to do a 1 single crochet decrease because that's pretty much the only increase I did. It's 1 single crochet. It doesn't matter the decrease, especially with black. So we need to put stuffing in this, and then we're going to do 1 more decrease row. I know it's already so super small, but it's a tire. I need a certain shape. So because we're going to squish this down, I wouldn't overstuff this because we are going to pull this and squish it down. So I want you to decrease 6 times, just decreases. So I'm going to use my front loops just to cut down on the amount of stretch. So that is it. go into your next stitch, fasten off. It should look like a little B-O-M-B. I'm not allowed to say that word. With sewing tail. So that is stuffed enough for what we have to do. So don't put any more in that. So you're going to cinch it. So just a couple cinches, that's all. One more. Pull that to close your cinch. Secure it by coming across, making a knot. So I'm going to go down. My lead is right here, but I'm going to go down kind of slightly over. And I'm going to pop out one side of my magic ring. I know you can't see it, but that's why I'm talking you through it. So when you pull this though, stick your finger in there. I want you to keep a loop on this side. Go down the other side of your magic ring and pop up. You're going to go through that loop because you're going to make a knot, and you're going to keep pulling until that middle part sucks in. And that's your tire. So you've got this middle part now divoted, and that's how you make your tire. So go ahead and make your second one. I'll put the pattern on the screen, and I'll meet you right back here. So I'm back with my two tires. I think one of them is fuller than the other. See, they're not, it's hard to tell. One of them is fuller than the other. It happens. So all we got to do is sew these on. These were not easy to sew on, so I chose to not sew, if that makes sense. Actually, I'm going to get my long needle. If you have a long needle like this, that'd be great. Oh, my battery's going to die. I might die in the middle of this. I don't know. Anyway, figure out where you want them. It's not easy to put these on in the right spot. So you're just going to have to guess, because there's no counting. The lines go the other way. So I'm going through the back of my other one. And then that way I know they're at least going to be even. So, pull as hard as you want to. And then this guy comes down to meet him. However you want that to happen. Just try not to go up through that. So you're going to have to pull this tight again. So I still wanted mine to turn. Like I wanted my grandsons, whoever's playing with it, to be able to turn the legs still. So I didn't sew them on. I tied these two in a tight-ish double knot in behind the tire. So that's never going to be seen. So the tires still move. And then, just to be safe, so I went in behind the tire, obviously. And I came up through the same hole with both pieces. That's why I'm doing it underneath, just in case you don't poke it down well enough. So, down in behind the tire, up in the same hole. And then I tied it together again here in a double knot. I pulled that second knot pretty tight, but not the first one. Cut it off, leaving some nubbies, and then poke it down. Black is so hard to get poked down and not seen. So there's my wheels on, just like that. So they do kind of turn in a bit, but so do airplane wheels normally. So let's get the eyes done, and then that is it. This puppy's going to be built. So for my eyes, I've got this 4-weight black from Red Heart. And then I've got this little cotton. I actually don't know who makes this. Hold on, I got a tag. Not that the fact that it's cotton has nothing to do with it, but the color is phenomenal. It's just a little Bernat Handicrafter cotton. So it's just a 2-weight. I'm going to use my 3.5 E hook for this. It's going to be tight. So I just want you to make a magic ring. We're going to put 6 single crochets in there. So after you've pulled, I want you to slip back out of this stitch here because we're going to change colors. So go to your eye color and finish that stitch. You don't have to weave if you use glue like I do. I use glue when I sew my eye down, so I don't have to weave all this crap. Makes my life easier. So in this next stitch, so we're building this amigurumi, there's no slip stitching or chaining or anything. In this next stitch you're going to put 2 half double crochets, so in the first stitch basically, but I need you to really pull it up. Oh, I got a piece of black in there. So really pull it up to make the stitch. So you can tighten everything after you've done that. Make sure that your middle of your pupil is tight and everything is nice and tight. Your next stitch is going to be 2 double crochets in the same space. So you can keep pulling up, I just wanted you to do it because this one's always a tighter stitch. Your next stitch is going to get 2 half triples, so you're going to yarn over twice like you would a triple crochet. But instead of pulling through 3 times, you're going to pull through 2 times. So the first time you're going to yarn over and pull through these 2. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through the rest of them. And again, pull through 2, and then pull through 3. So that's a half triple. It's not a half treble, it's a half triple. A treble crochet is a UK term for double crochet, but we don't speak in UK terms, we're speaking in American terms. And you know, whenever I'm watching a video and they're using American terms the whole entire way through, and then they come to a triple and they call it a treble, I click off of it because they clearly don't know what they're talking about, and I don't really want to learn from somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. So it is a triple crochet because we pull through 3 times generally. So this would be a half triple, speaking in American terms, not UK terms. Your next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets in the same space. I know I keep saying this in the videos. Anytime I do a video with a triple crochet in it, it's because I'm still seeing so many videos out there of people saying treble. It drives me crazy. Your last stitch here is going to get 2 half doubles. So the reason it's your last stitch is because I didn't want to go all the way around and I wanted to leave some black on the bottom. So this side should be as loose as this side if you've pulled up, because if not, then your eye's going to look all cockeyed. So we're not going into anything to fasten off. We're just going to fasten off right here with our sewing tail. That's your eye. So we're going to put some glinting in there with our white. But if you are doing what I do and using glue, I like to just tie some knots in the back, which will never be seen by anybody. Unless they manage to actually get the eye off. But you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So I tie everything in the back. And then I cut it off short. A few nubbies there just because I just don't want that knot to come undone. But I'm using, I don't want to pull on that. I am using glue to sew this down with. So get a little bit of white. You don't need much. Take your needle. Come up through the back. You don't need to do this yet either. So just come up anywhere through the back. And then down. Put your little glinting on. So I've got the sparkle white stuff. It's perfect for eye glinting. So don't tie a tight first knot, but you can do a tight second knot, because you don't want to pull that too much. And that is your eye. So I'm going to put it up on my screen, what you got to do, and then I'll meet you right back here with your second eye, and then we'll sew it on and we'll be done. So I gotta figure out where my eyes are going. So you just gotta make sure you leave enough room. We can do the eyebrows up here. So I put mine down fairly low. I use glue, like I've already said. So I have some clear glue that I got from Amazon. So I'm just sticking, I'm not going into the stitches of my blue because I hate the look of that when it pulls that all down. I hate it. So I'm just going into the middle part, and because I'm using glue, I don't have to be super duper serious about. I'm going small stitches in the front so that they aren't noticeable, and then I pop out wherever I want to pop out again because I'm using glue, so it doesn't really matter if I pop out down here. The glue is such a useful factor in this situation. But it's probably not for everybody, so I mean, you don't have to use it. So I'm done mine. I don't want to go into that black with my blue, so I'm just going to pop out somewhere. So I'm going to keep my pin in it just so it can dry properly. I'm going to come over here and pop out the same hole. I'm going to tie these two in a double knot. Cut it off, leaving a nubby, and poke it down. So, while those dry, we can do our eyebrows. So you just need to get a piece of black. These are so quick and easy. So it doesn't matter where you come in, it just matters where you pop out. So I'm just going to go in wherever. But I don't want to pop out in a place where it's going to make it look like they're angry. So I'm going to come over here, decide where I want my eyebrow lashes. And wherever I want them, so I kind of want them over here, I'm going to go down fairly close to the eye, because I want them fairly long. And I'm going to pop out, just like that. And then I'm going to go back down this same hole, and I'm going to pop out next door to it. So that makes your first eyelash. And then I'm going to come back down the same hole, and I'm going to pop out over here, next door to it. That's your second eyelash. And then your third eyelash. I'm just going to take this same piece. So to make my third eyelash, I'm going to go back down the same hole, but I'm going to pop out across from this guy to do my other eye. Like that. So when you pull, that makes your third eyelash over here. I got fuzzies in there. So then you do the same thing. You come down, try to keep it even. You can pop back out the same hole you started in. Just try not to pull too tight. So you can make adjustments if you need to loosen them up or do whatever. Just like that. And then these two you can tie in a double knot and poke down. If you want to. I mean, you don't have to, because I really don't think anyone's going to be plucking at your eyebrows, but you never know if a child does. Certainly don't want it coming off and going down its throat, so just for safety reasons, cut it off and poke it down. And we are done. I'm going to leave my pins on though until it's dry. Fuzzies everywhere. And there we go. Our cute little airplane. Thanks for joining me, guys. I'll see you in the next video.